Hello, and welcome again to Life Skills Hacks. Today, the topic is about how to respond to your child's tantrums and emotional outbursts. If it so happened that you could not prevent your child from these tantrums or emotional outbursts, the best way is to have the skills and the abilities to stand in it and deal with it and to help your child come out of it. So that's what we call the responsive strategies to emotional outbursts. So the first point is that you, as a parent, you ought to be calm yourself. Because when your child is experiencing emotional outbursts, it is so frustrating to the extent that sometimes you, as a parent, get angry yourself and then you meet your child with anger. You cannot use fire to quench fire. You can only use water to quench fire. So your emotions, you should take in you should take charge of your own emotions as a parent. Be calm, talk calmly. Don't issue threats. Don't issue warnings. And this way, your child will have no option than to come out of this outburst. Secondly, most children do not have the right words to express how they feel. So the only way they know how to do that expression is to be violent, to be physical, to over dramatize the emotions. So as a parent, you must point out what you are seeing in your child in this emotional outburst situation. I can see you are lying on the floor. I can see you are angry, you are frustrated. Yeah, you have the right to do that. So point out what you see in this emotional outburst. Confirm them, recognize them. Tell your child that, yeah, I see it, I understand it. But then you give your child alternative. You tell your child what you think can help him or her in the situation. Okay? So it is important. Thirdly, you ought to sometimes give your child room, create space at home so that when your child is experiencing these tantrums and emotional outbursts, they can have their own time over there so that alone without any distractions around, so that they themselves can process what has happened and come to an understanding and try to come out of it on their own. That is even more effective. And when children are able to do that, then they will definitely be able to manage these emotions and tantrums in later parts of their lives. And thirdly, you ought to always provide them with alternatives. When they are having these tantrums and outbursts, they are very difficult to deal with. So if you are being strict and hold on to your stance, they will also hold on to their stance. So it is important that you meet your child halfway. It is important that you provide alternative. Okay? And so that you don't compound this emotional outburst. And always don't try to moralize the situation at that moment. Okay? You talk to your child later on when you know that your child now have access to their cortex. That is, they have the ability to reflect, they have the ability to think before you can then talk to them. I hope you've learned something from this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next. Bye.